Hello everyone, welcome back to the Code Syndicate. In this video, we will discuss one of the compound data type of Rust, that is tuple. Tuples in Rust are dynamic in nature. That means tuples are used to store elements of different data types. Tuples are of fixed size and cannot be modified to add or remove elements after declaring it once. Now let's check how we can declare tuple in Rust. To declare a tuple, we write let and the name of the tuple. Let's give it a name tup colon and the data types. Now here I want to store three elements in the tuples which will be of type boolean, I8 type and F32 type. So let's mention the types of all the elements. First one will be bool, second one I8 type, and third one will be F32. Equal, inside of parentheses, let's put the value. Let's put true in place of boolean value, 5 in place of I8, 25.5 in place of F32. This is a basic syntax of a tuple in Rust. To print the tuple, we need to write println inside double quotes, curly braces. Inside curly braces, we need to write colon and a question mark. Now let's put this tuple. Run the code to see the output. Here we have true, 5 and 25.5. Now in previous video, we have talked about how we can declare a variable without mentioning the data type. Here also, we can declare a tuple without mentioning the data type. So if we remove this code, we still get the same output. Here it is. Next, let's check how we can retrieve elements from the tuple. Let me tell you, tuples are arranged in a sequence which can be accessed by its index, and the index starts with 0. So this first element will be index 0 of this tuple, and the second element will be the index 1 and index 2 for this third element. So to access any elements, let's say we want to access this second element. To achieve this, we call index of this element inside this tuple. So the index is 1. Run the code. Here we got 5, which we wanted to achieve. By the same way, we can access this first element or this third element. Let's access this first element with index 0. Here you can see. Now let's talk about mutability in tuples. Now, as you can recall, tuples are of fixed size. That means once it is declared, you cannot add or remove elements from the tuple, but you can change the value inside the tuple. To do so, you need to add this mute keyword before the name of the tuple and after the let keyword. I have already discussed how mutability works in Rust. If you haven't checked that video, you can check in this playlist. Now let's continue. So after adding this mute keyword, now our tuple is mutable. That means we can change value inside the tuples. You can change any elements you want from this tuple. So let's change this first element to false. For this, tup dot 0 for the 0th index, that is this element, equal false. Now in the print statement, we are printing this first element. Let's run the code to verify if this false is updated in this tuple or not. Run the code, and here you can see false in the first element of the tuple. Or you can simply print whole tuple in the console. Here you can see it. Now make sure that you can modify the elements inside the tuple, but you cannot modify the type of data the element is holding. That means you can change this first element to false, or I can say you can change this first element that is of type boolean with another boolean value, but you cannot change this boolean type to integer type. For example, let's replace this false with any random integer. Let's say 2. Now run the code to see the output. Here you can see expected a bool type but found integer. Now what we have learned from this is you can modify the value of the elements, but you cannot change the data type of the element. Now let's see how we can destructure a tuple. Now here we have this tuple which is holding a boolean value true, an integer value 5 and a float value 25.5. Now let's say we need this element to be declared as a variable instead of an element of a tuple. That means we need this value true or this integer 5 or this float 25.5 as an independent variable. To do so, we can do this way, which is a simplest way. Let's name this bool value equals top point 0, and for the integer value let int value equals top point 1, let float value equals top point 2. Now print all the variables to see if this is working or not. Run the code. Here we have this warning. Let's ignore this. I will talk about these warnings later. As you can see, we have printed all three variables. So this way we can destructure a tuple. This is a simplest way we can destructure tuple in Rust. Now in Rust, we have a shorthand for this operation. These three lines of code can be written in a single line. Let me show you. Let inside of parentheses, this parentheses represent this tuple. So for the first element, we'll name it bool value. For the second element, we'll have int value, and for the third element, we have float value equal to this tuple. So this tuple of variables will be equal to this tuple, which is this. Now in this print statement, we are calling this bool value, int value, and this float value here. Now let's run the code to verify. Ignore this warning. Here you can see we have successfully destructured this tuple in a single line. So that was all about tuples in Rust. If you like this video, press that like button and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.